Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel here once again, and welcome to the Spider-Man Original Trilogy Retrospective. Recently we watched the Spider-Man movies, the original Spider-Man trilogy, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy starring Tobey Maguire. And the reason we analyzed that, well, for starters, is because it's September, which is my birth month, and so all this stuff is related to my childhood, everything that we're talking about, for the most part, for this month, but also because a lot of people consider this to be one of the best, to be the best of the Spider-Man movies, the definitive Spider-Man trilogy. But is that really the case, or is it truly just nostalgia? That's why I wanted to seek out and let's look at this retrospective here. So, of course, if you've seen my retrospective videos before, you kind of already know how this works. If you haven't, I'm going to be talking about various aspects of the original Spider-Man trilogy. What went right, what went wrong, the best and the worst, my favorite, least favorite of the trilogy, and ultimately the question we're going to ask is this truly a good trilogy, or do we just have our rose tinted glasses and just think of this being good because of nostalgic reasons? That's what we're going to answer today. So, starting off here, we have, and I'm gonna list off all the categories for you guys. So we have all three movies from least favorite to favorite. So from worst to best. Then we have my favorite and least favorite supporting characters, that being characters that aren't villainous, more so support Spider-Man, and kind of like side characters for the most part. Then we have my favorite and least favorite villains. We have my favorite and least favorite overall characters, the most improved and the character who could have been improved, what went right and what went wrong, and we have a little extra tidbit to talk about, kind of within the vein of the trilogy that we have to talk about at the end. But let's get right into it. So, starting off with the movies from least favorite to favorite, so from worst to best. At dead last, I got to go with Spider-Man 3. He truly is the weakest of the trilogy. Is it a bad movie? I don't know if I'd go that far, but it definitely is not as good as the other two. Then in the middle, we have the original Spider-Man movie. He a lot of good stuff setting up, but that was improved upon with the best in the trilogy, that being Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is considered by many to be the best in the trilogy, and he is definitely lived up to that. It's like had a lot of action, a lot of good stuff, arguably one of the best villains, and so yeah, Spider-Man 2, who definitely is the best in the trilogy. Now for the supporting characters. So for my favorite supporting characters, I went with Aunt May and J. Jonah Jameson for two very different reasons. For Aunt May, she was the source of a lot of wisdom and insight for Peter, and she did a fantastic job. That being Rosemary Harris, did a fantastic job. She played the damsel in distress from time to time, but she was definitely like a guide to Peter, source of wisdom, playing off the emotion of course, losing her husband, aka Uncle Ben. But yeah, Aunt May Parker, really awesome, and the fact that she was still a relatively old lady this time around, and not, of course, nothing against Marissa Tomei. She's gorgeous, but she's gorgeous. like Aunt May is supposed to be a lot older, and she definitely was. And it is funny to see like Aunt May get younger and younger as the Spider-Man movies progress. And J. Jonah Jameson, just because he was hilarious. Like almost every scene with J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson was just hilarious and just all kinds of fun, all kinds of like funny and stuff. Almost a bit too one-dimensional in terms of like him hating Spider-Man and him being like very sarcastic like all the time and stuff, but he definitely made it work, and it definitely made it fun, and definitely you look forward to his scenes within like the Daily Bugle and stuff, and even some stuff outside the Daily Bugle. Then for my least favorite supporting character, and if you've seen my reviews of the Spider-Man trilogy before, for stars, if you haven't, go check those out. But if you've seen my reviews of these before, I think you know where this is going. Mary Jane. I forgot how pretty insufferable she was throughout the trilogy. Obviously watching this as a kid, I didn't really pay too much attention to it because I was like, "Ooh, yay, Spider-Man! Ooh, yay, Spider-Man, Mary Jane, yeah!" But now looking at it as an adult, very, very unsure of herself, and considering they're supposed to be college students, very young. I guess I can't be overly harsh on her because in college kids do is you're still really finding yourself in college and stuff like that, or even college age, even if you're not really in college, even college age, late teens, early 20s. That's what I consider college age. But her, she was just man, she was annoying. Sadly, he and kind of the toxic relationship between her and Peter, which Peter sadly in that wasn't always he's a saint when it comes to that, but yeah, MJ, sorry, you're in the least favorite. And my favorite villains, I went with both Green Goblin and Doctor Octopus. Green Goblin was done really well. Willem Dafoe did really well as the Green Goblin, and to see him have such a presence throughout the rest of the trilogy, even even beyond just the first movie, even though his character died, to see him be a persistent force guiding Harry and everything. Through pretty much the rest of the trilogy was really awesome to see. He was done super well, showing the duality and the inner conflict of Norman Osborn and his Green Goblin persona. And Dr. Octopus was really awesome as well, aka Dr. Otto Octavius. Alfred Molina did a bang up job as Dr. Octopus. That's a very fun villain. Probably the one who had arguably the most personal tie to Peter, considering Peter idolized him and everything, and to see that show through him being brilliant and a genius, but pretty much a slave to his own design, and that being the tentacles and the destruction of the neuroinhibitor were really awesome, and they did really well as well when they came back in No Way Home. Hey, I know we're not really talking about the MCU Spider-Man, but seeing them come back in No Way Home and picking up pretty much where they left off, it was really cool. And then my least favorite villain, sadly, I gotta go with Venom. It probably didn't help that he showed up really late into Spider-Man 3. Now, granted, you knew he was coming in Spider-Man 3, but him showing up pretty late didn't really get a whole lot of time to shine, even though he was supposed to be one of the 2/3 major villains. And his 3 with an asterisk because Harry, villain turned hero, stuff like that. I wish he got a little bit more. I wish they did a little more with him. And I forgot to mention this. I can't believe I forgot to mention this when I reviewed Spider-Man 3. Because this is a complaint I always had with this character, is that he is way too skinny. Now, granted, Sandman kind of is a little bit on the skinny side as well, but that one's a little bit more forgivable. With Venom, he is way too skinny here. Venom is supposed to be a lot bigger, or he almost looks like a toothpick here. And I know, obviously they try to make him similar in a lot of ways to Spider-Man and the black suit Spider-Man, and he was way too skinny. Say what you want about the Venom movie and how maybe not great that was, but at least Venom was the right size in that movie. Then we have my favorite overall character, and you probably saw this coming as well, but it's obviously gotta be Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire did a very fantastic job as Peter Parker, and as Spider-Man here. Really the best of both worlds. you feel for him. You grow up along with him. You learn lessons along with him. Him perfect as a person, not really, but you definitely grow and get those lessons along with Tobey Maguire, and he is such a phenomenal such an underrated actor is Tobey Maguire. The fact that he hasn't even been nominated for an Academy Award is criminal. Now, granted, a lot of the stuff when it comes to being snubbed at the Oscars / the Academy Awards is criminal, but this one especially, not even a nomination. Wow. But my least favorite overall character, for the aforementioned reasons, I gotta go with Mary Jane, and just for like I said, for all the aforementioned reasons. For most improved, I definitely gotta go with Harry Osborn. Him starting out kind of just like Peter's friend, kind of the son of Norman Osborn. As this trilogy progresses, he really comes into his own, especially his reaction to his father dying and everything, and seeing how much, just like how naughty he gets into, I guess is a way to describe it, but a lot of that being due to the Goblin's influence / his father's influence. But seeing how Harry developed as a character throughout the trilogy was pretty cool to see. And some characters who could have been improved upon is Sandman and Venom, both from Spider-Man 3. Having them as main villains, I'm not totally against, but I feel like they should have been built up more, or as main villains. And sadly, they didn't get nearly as much as Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus. And I know part of that is due to the fact that they essentially had to share the spotlight with not just each other, but the new Goblin. But I do wish they would have gotten a little bit more. And then what went right with the trilogy? There was quite a bit of action. There was plenty of emotional moments throughout. Oh, and of course the memes. Plenty of meme material. When it comes to the original Spider-Man trilogy. And all that stuff. All three of these things, the action, the emotional moments, and the memes, kind of intertwine with each other, which is really cool. A lot of the memes do come from, the action or the emotional moments, for better or for worse, or even just, the funny moments and stuff like that, like emo Peter Parker. But all that stuff is what really keeps people invested. There's plenty of action, and there's plenty of emotion to keep the story going, and just really good stuff. And then what do I think went wrong? For starters, the whole relationship drama / love triangle between Peter, MJ, and Harry. That I think was frustrating to see at times, and just because of how kind of annoying it was. And then what they tried to do with the villain dynamic in Spider-Man 3. Because he essentially too many cooks in the kitchen, I feel like, when it comes to the villain dynamic. And it can work because the Sinister Six is a thing in the Spider-Man comics, but sadly he didn't really get that here, which is unfortunate. So that's the original trilogy. And that's the trilogy that we had gotten. But what if I told you there was supposed to be a fourth movie? The Spider-Man 4, and this is something that's been talked about quite a bit over the years, or it's the Spider-Man 4, the fourth Spider-Man movie that we never quite got. This is according to the Spider-Man fandom wiki here, or so take it with a grain of salt. Apparently there was a plan for Spider-Man 4, or development began in 2008, about a year after Spider-Man 3. It was under development, and apparently a lot of stuff kept happening, and there was a lot of issues. It was even Raimi and other writers hated. Apparently, according to Wiki here, they went through 4 revisions of the script, and eventually they pulled the plug on it in January of 2010. And so, some of the stuff that would have been in this movie was that Dr. Kirk Connors, who was present in the trilogy and everything, and he was Peter Parker's professor, or his science professor, and helped Peter learn more about the symbiote in Spider-Man 3, was supposed to turn into the Lizard, because of course Dr. Kirk Connors is the Lizard. He had both arms here, so I imagine he would have lost one of the arms in the movie. And then we also were gonna get Lizard or slash Dr. Connors was gonna. Dylan Baker was going to reprise his role, but we were also going to get Anne Hathaway as Black Cat slash Felicia Hardy, so she was going to be there. So, throwing off the love dynamic again, then we were going to have John Malkovich as the Vulture, or slash, of course, Adrian Toomes, and then. And there's even rumors that Bruce Campbell was going to be Quentin Beck slash Mysterio. Well, pretty much the payoff to all like the different appearances and stuff from Bruce Campbell as pretty much throughout the trilogy. Like him being like the waiter and him being like the doorman at the play, and him being the announcer when Spider-Man was going to wrestle Bonesaw. So, that was going to be the payoff there. But unfortunately, this got abandoned. And then we would get The Amazing Spider-Man in 2012. And sadly, The Amazing Spider-Man movies didn't quite live up to the original trilogy. And we will definitely analyze that at some point in the future. But thinking what could have been. Now, some people still... there are some people who still kind of hold out hope for that Spider-Man 4. Or some people who still want the Spider-Man 4. Especially now that Tobey Maguire is seemingly working with Marvel again. And working as the Spider-Man character as recent as No Way Home. But do we necessarily need a Spider-Man 4? My answer to that is not necessarily. For starters, there's Tom Holland is the current Spider-Man in the MCU, who will be replaced someday, most likely, but he's the current live-action Spider-Man in the MCU, who doing a pretty good job and for all intents and purposes, Spider-Man 3 as kind of like not fantastic as it was, as did feel like a decent enough send off with like Peter and MJ seemingly gonna reprise their relationship, or rekindle, I should say, their relationship and everything. Them burying their friend Harry Osborn. Spider-Man continuing to be a force throughout New York City and everything, especially now that he's back to the red and blue and has eschewed the symbiote suit. So that felt like as good a send-off as any to end off the trilogy. He kind of... Now it does leave some stuff open-ended and maybe having some questions that could have been answered with this movie, but especially with like Felicia Hardy, if she was in this movie, it probably would have complicated things in the movie. So I think it wasn't really necessary. Plus the fact that this was gonna have multiple villains again in the Lizard and Mysterio and Vulture. Or it didn't really work for Spider-Man 3. I imagine it probably wouldn't have worked as well with Spider-Man 4. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn post notifications so you know every time I upload a video so you can see as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the retrospective and what's your favorite and least favorite Spider-Man movie. And do you guys think that the Spider-Man 4 would have worked out? And do you still want to see them go through with a Spider-Man 4? For me, I don't really think it's necessary. Do I think it would be bad? Probably not, but I don't really think it's necessary. Same with like an Amazing Spider-Man 3, although a lot of people do really want that one. But nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.